some NBA trade news going down. The Memphis Grizzlies trade Juancho Hernangomez to the Boston Celtics for Chris Dunn, Carson Edwards, and a 2026 second-round pick. So Juancho Hernangomez, he's been a decent ball player the last few seasons throughout his career. It's Hernangomez, but he's bounced around now. Denver, then Minnesota last year, then a trade in the offseason over to Memphis, and once again Memphis trading for a player and then getting rid of him, and that's what they did in the deal. So last season for Hernangomez, 7.2 points a game, 3.9 rebounds for him, 43% from the field, 1.1 threes a game, and 32% from the three-point line. So right here, he's going to be a bench player for this Boston Celtic team, and he's going to be a guy for fantasy basketball you're not really going to target on your draft days here, but right now it's a good depth move in my opinion here for this Boston Celtic team. They need some depth, and that was the problem last season with the Celtic team. They didn't have much depth, especially when Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown went down, but now they got Juancho Hernangomez in the deal here, and we'll see if he could carve out a decent role for this Boston Celtic team, a 15-20 minute role off the bench, but right now it's a better real life move in my opinion, for Juancho Hernangomez, and a fantasy basketball move. Where last season we saw him have some value with Minnesota, obviously with all the injuries on that team. But right here, if Boston's 100%, he's not a guy I'm going to target draft day in my fantasy basketball leagues. And now Chris Dunn once again getting traded this offseason, after the Celtics got him earlier in the offseason here, in a 3-team trade coming from the Tristan Thompson deal. But right now, Chris Dunn, last season, he didn't do much and he didn't play much. Atlanta only 4 games because of the injury. 1.3 points a game, 1.5 rebounds for Dunn last year. And it was a lost season, obviously, for Dunn. 75% from the foul line. But in 2019-2020, with the Bulls, 51 games, 7.3 points a game, 3.6 rebounds, 2 steals a game, 4% from the field, and 25% from 3 and 74% from the line. So right here, he's going to be a backup for this Grizzly team. And we saw the Grizzlies get Rondo and Patrick Beverley early in the offseason. Then they flipped Beverley, obviously, the Timberwolves. And then we saw them buy Rondo out and he the Los Angeles Lakers. So if you didn't know that news, I got videos about those 2 guys going to those teams. But anyway, Chris Dunn here, he's going to be the backup most likely, in my opinion, to John Morant. But he's another player who hasn't really played in the last season and a half. And a guy I'm not targeting draft day as well in fantasy basketball. He's just going to be a backup anywhere from 12 to 20 minutes per game. And the other guy in this deal, Carson Edwards, he's a player that's not going to have fantasy value and be a back of the bench type of player here for this Grizzly team. So right here, a small little deal here in the NBA. Juancho Hernangomez going to Boston, with Chris Dunn, the returning piece here for the Memphis Grizzlies. And we'll see if these 2 guys can have any impact for their new teams here in the upcoming 2021-22 NBA season.